Go speak with young Sarah. She could help you.
Captain Obo?
What do you want?
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Crystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because, did you know? So there. So the guy answers, I don't know nothing, Captain. Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster, her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee, it's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo.
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Yukon caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baranor. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baranor, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear.
You know the captain better than I do. What can you tell me that will help me to convince him?
One thing's for sure, he definitely hates himself for abandoning all those people to their fate over there in Baranor. All of those men, women, and children that Grandfather's army of automatons was going to rescue and bring back on board the Crystal. He has the impression nobody here will ever forgive him, and to be perfectly honest, he's not far wrong. Plus, he's also racked with guilt. So in my opinion, avoid criticizing him.
Has Captain Obo taken the crystal out of port since leaving Baranor?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baranor 20 years ago.
Do you think the crystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baranor?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the Crystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baranor, they're all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This piss water unbattens the hatches, swabs the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, Miss.
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo?
This is good news, Captain. You're back at the starting block again. You have a new beginning, a new dawn.
Now that's a good show of spirit, Miss Walker. What'll you be having now? It's my round.
I'd rather you listen to me. You're my only hope of finding a solution to my problem.
Do tell me about it, please, miss.
Because the Yukels and their ostriches are stuck here in Valsumbor, it's causing a serious problem among the people in your community. Plus, the nomads have to continue their great journey. Only you, Captain Obo, can defuse the situation by taking them on board the Crystal.
You're very wrong, Miss Walker. Everybody will tell you that I'm incapable of giving a hand to anyone.
You're right, Captain. It's safe to say that people don't have a particularly high opinion of you. But I think you're afraid to know where I want to take the Yukels.
Listen to her. All right, then. Tell me where Miss Walker actually wants me to take her in my old tub.
To Baranor.
I'm a broken man because of what I saw back there that night, miss. A sad wreck of a man, really. And you're asking me to go back. Back there. Back to hell. I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. Beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Yukel friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
Well, let's just look at it like a second chance. What do you say?
No. Never.
In that case, I'll buy the crystal.
What makes you think she's up for sale?
You've left her in the port to rot. She's completely run down. You haven't the money to keep her shipshape. I have money, and I need that ferry.
She's a ferry, not a liner. The girl wants to take the helm of the crystal. Now I've heard everything.
I know that if the Proud Crystal had an equally proud commander at her helm, things would go better. But as you don't want to go on a voyage...
All right. You can get your gang of little savages and board the crystal. I'll take you.
Oh, thank you, Captain, really, with all my heart. And thank you on behalf of the Yukels.
Oh, but be careful now, Captain Girl. You're not there yet. There are two conditions, and they are negotiable. First, we stop by Narodas. It's a little town just a bit south of Baranor. That will mean we avoid the most radioactive zones, but it won't actually take you too far off your path. And second, we also sail by day. I'm not going to finish up on the lake monster's plate. And it sleeps during the day. The beast is usually a bit of a night owl anyway.
I accept, Captain Obo.
In that case, all hands on deck now, sailor, because we've got work to do before we can hoist the anchor.
Come on, Kate. You hurry off and meet with the captain before he changes his mind. I'll go tell Grandfather to join you on board the Crystal with Kirk.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll just take a peek. Nobody will ever know. All right, Captain. How are the preparations going?
There's quite a bit of work to do before we can hoist the anchor, Miss Kate.
Maybe I can help you out with something.
Well, the coal needs to be stocked up. As for myself, I'll look after getting the water tanks ready to be filled. Take this. It's the code you need for entering the hangar where the coal is kept. You actually need it to use the crane to load the coal onto the crystal. Don't forget to open the storage hatchway first.
How do I open the hatchway to the coal storage on the crystal?
Just turn the wheel on the ship's bridge, sailor.
What do I need to do in the hangar?
That's where you'll find all the coal you need for the crystal. One container should just about be enough. And don't forget to use the entry code for the crane that I just gave you.
What do I need the crane for?
This here is for loading all the coal you get from the hangar onto the ship. Use the code I gave you so that you can access the control post.
I'll take care of that, Captain.
We need to set sail as soon as possible, so better hurry up. Apparently you did a very good job loading all the coal, Kate. Right. Everything's ready, so we can start filling the water tank. Now we need to connect the water tower to the crystal, then climb up there to manually activate the water flow mechanism.
All right, show me how it's done.
You've got to be kidding. There are too many barnacles on my keel for me to play the acrobat.
All right, I'll do it.
When you're finished, come and see me on board. There's still a lot to do before we're shipshape.
I took care of the water, Captain. Everything went smoothly. Is everything okay?
No. The ignition key for the crystal. I can't find it anywhere. Without it, we can't even start.
Captain, did you go to the tavern at all while I was gone?
No way. Of course not.
Come on, think. We need to find that key.
Good Lord. Now I remember. 20 years ago, when I got back from Baranor without the automatons, everybody was really very hard on me, you know.
Captain, I don't really see what you...
So I spent the whole night in the tavern. You should have seen the state I was in when I got back to the Bridge of the Crystal and...
And?
And then I threw the crystal's ignition key into the water. I swore I'd never set sail on the cursed waters of the lake again.
So that's it? The ignition key is lost forever?
Yeah. I'm afraid so. I'm really sorry, Kate, but we're stuck. I've made a complete mess of everything again. Again.
There has to be a duplicate for the key.
I don't know. At any rate, when Steiner finished building the crystal, he only actually gave me the one.
I saw a model of the crystal at Simon Steiner's. Is he the one who designed the ship?
Yes, of course.
Maybe he could be of some help then.
Maybe. Who knows?
Don't be so hard on yourself, Captain. I'll find a solution to the key problem.
If you say so.
Kate, how are the preparations with the captain coming along?
We're making progress, but actually we need some help from your grandfather. Is he here?
He just left for the clinic with the artificial leg he made for the Yukon guide, Kirk. I'm minding the shop until he gets back. Maybe I can help you with something?
It seems the captain has misplaced the ignition key for the crystal, and without it we won't be able to leave. So as it was your grandfather who designed the crystal, I figured he just might have a duplicate.
I have to admit, I don't see where you could get one of those. Apart from the model downstairs, I don't think he kept a lot of souvenirs of the time when he built the crystal.
Would you mind if I had a look?
Of course not. Here, take this. It'll let you look at the model close up. The model of the crystal is downstairs.
An ignition key. But it looks far too small for the crystal. It looks like it worked.
Don't worry. As soon as Grandfather gets back here with Kirk, I'll tell them to join you straight away on the crystal.
Fantastic, Kate. I have to admit, you really know how to get things done.
Do you think we can leave now?
There's just one last problem to solve. The locks we need to use to get out onto the lake. They're shut by order of the town hall. You have to find some way to get them open.
What do you suggest?
The best thing to do is to ask Mayor Bulyakin for the authorization to reopen them. But just to give you fair warning, he's about as straight as a crooked waterspout, so you mind him. Or you could just get a hold of some explosives and then kaboom!
First, I'll try talking to the mayor. Thanks, Captain.
Watch out for Mayor Bulyakin.
The way they treat the nomads around here is terrible.
My dear friends, keep calm. Please, keep calm. I beg of you.
We'll calm down when we get what we want!
Yeah, nomads
Listen to me,
out!
please.
Kick the Yukos out right now, or the strike will get worse!
I know just what you mean, my dear friends, and
It's all words! We want action!
listen, my dear friends. I'm ready to work.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes? What now?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Please forgive me for intruding like this without an appointment at all, but I'd just like to start off by saying thank you for your time. I know how precious it is.
You are completely forgiven, my dear lady. How can I help?
Do you think it would be possible to open the locks in the port?
I beg your pardon? Did you say the locks? What on earth for?
I'm actually accompanying the Yukol tribe on their long journey right now, Mr. Mayor. I've asked Captain Obo if he would take us to the other side of the lake on the Crystal to now dusk.
Oh, Captain Obo, the Crystal, the Yukols. Do go on. Anyway, it would be very ungracious of me if I were to criticize you for removing that burden from our good town. Nonetheless, I'm afraid I must refuse your request, dear lady. The locks will remain closed until further notice. This decision came from above, you understand?
I'm really sorry to say this, Mr. Mayor, but are you absolutely certain that's the right decision?
What do you mean?
Well, you know that making the Yukol stay here by keeping the locks closed is clearly not what the people in your administration want. They won't understand. In the long run, there could be backlash at election time.
Now that I think about it, yes. You are right. And I have always been there for my voters. But the orders... They're orders, understand?
You're the mayor, and it's you and you alone who can decide what's right for Valsumbur. So why not reassert your authority once and for all? Authorize the opening of the locks.
I could do it, of course. But it's complicated, understand?
If you solve this problem, you'll become a kind of crusading hero to your voters. You'll earn the undying support of everyone in Valsumbur. And your superiors won't be able to do anything to you.
Well, I have to admit, dear lady, that your arguments have convinced me. I am authorizing you to open the port locks so the crystal can leave. Nonetheless, you should know that there is a technical problem that means the locks have to be opened manually. I imagine that such an inconvenience isn't likely to deter a woman as determined and resourceful as you.
Do you mean that?
Yes, as the local technician is absent, I'm afraid you'll have to delve into the murky waters yourself to open the locks. Nonetheless, this should help you use the underwater mechanism.
But how am I supposed to dive?
That, dear lady, is your problem, I suppose. Do have an excellent day.
Well?
The mayor authorized us to open the locks, but you're going to have to do it manually, by diving into the water.
I refuse to dip any one of my old hairy toes in that pea soup. A captain does not do the work of a swab. So as there doesn't seem to be anybody else around, it looks like you're the one who'll have to do it.
I've never gone diving. But if you think I'll be fine down there, I don't mind trying.
This has to stay between the two of us, Kate. There's something you need to know about the locks. They're also there to stop the lake monster from entering the port. Anyway, that's what I heard. But at this time of day, there's no risk. That spawn of hell sleeps all day.
Do you really believe there's a monster down there in that lake?
You know, 20 years ago, it really wasn't Paranor that I was afraid of. Not the deaths, the radiation. That's what people say, but the truth is that it was actually that damn monster that made me scoot away like a minnow. It was lurking around Paranor, drawn by the stench of the graves, probably. I saw its red eyes staring at me, Miss Walker. That's something you never forget.
Underwater? How am I supposed to open the lock gates?
They're kept in place with some kind of steel locks. Just try and pull them out using their mechanism.
All right. There's nothing to it. Where's a suit I can use?
Meet me in the shed at the far end of the seawall. There should be something just about your size. I mean, near enough, anyway. Meet me in the shed at the end of the seawall.